What did your investigator just see? Welcome to Advanced Protective Services Tidbit Tuesdays. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button. It's right over here. Don't forget to hit that bell so that you'll be notified whenever we do an upload, and we do one each and every week. Today, we're talking about when a civil domestic surveillance turns criminal. Most people think that surveillance is simple. Follow someone, document what they are doing, and report it back. But what they don't realize is that sometimes a routine domestic case like a divorce or custody battle can suddenly cross the line into criminal activity. And when that happens, if your investigator doesn't know how to handle it correctly, you can lose the case, or even worse, compromise a criminal investigation. Hi, I'm Andy Crutchfield, Senior Investigator with Advanced Protective Services. Let's talk about when that line gets crossed and what has to happen next. Domestic surveillance typically involves cases like divorce, child custody, cohabitation investigations, and infidelity. The goal here is simple: document behavior, and we're looking for patterns, where someone goes, who they're with, and what they're doing, strictly for civil court purposes. At this stage, the investigator is not acting as law enforcement. We're observers. We document the facts. We don't intervene. Now, here's where things can change. During surveillance, investigators can observe activity that sometimes crosses into the criminal territory. Examples include drug distribution, DUI or habitual impaired driving, child endangerment, fraud or theft, or even assaults or threats of violence. Let me be clear, this is not hypothetical. It happens more often than people think. You may start a case trying to prove a spouse is violating a custody agreement and end up documenting felony-level criminal activity. That's the moment that the entire operation has changed. At that point, you can't just keep running the case like it's still civil. Why? Well, because now you're dealing with evidence that could be used in criminal court. Constitutional protections, chain of custody requirements, potential involvement of law enforcement. If handled incorrectly, that evidence becomes useless, or worse, inadmissible, and if an investigator oversteps, you could expose the client and yourself to liability. So what should happen when a domestic surveillance turns criminal? Well, here are the steps. First of all, step one, pause and assess. The investigator immediately evaluates what was just observed, and is this clearly criminal behavior or something that requires further confirmation? Step two, document without interference. Continue documenting, but do not engage, intervene, or escalate. Your role is still observation. Step three, notify supervisory chain. Here at APS, this means notifying management and investigations leadership immediately. This is not a solo decision. Step four, preserve evidence properly. Now the chain of custody matters. Timestamps, original files, no alterations. Everything must be preserved as if it will go to court. Step five, legal coordination. The client's attorney may need to be notified, and in some cases, law enforcement involvement becomes necessary. Step six, adjust the operational plan. The surveillance itself may change. Different objectives, different documentation standards, and possible coordination with outside agencies such as law enforcement. At this point, you're no longer just building a civil case, you're protecting the integrity of potential criminal evidence. This is where hiring the right investigator matters. An inexperienced investigator might miss the transition completely, contaminate evidence, or continue operating in a way that damages both cases. A professional understands that moment and knows how to pivot instantly, because the goal isn't just getting video, it's making sure that that video actually holds up when it matters most. If you're an attorney or a client dealing with a sensitive case and you need surveillance done the right way from the start to the finish, reach out to Advanced Protective Services. Because knowing where the line is just as important as knowing how to cross it. Thank you for watching today's episode of Advanced Protective Services Tidbit Tuesday. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button. It's right over here. Don't forget to hit that bell so that you'll be notified whenever we do an upload, and we do one each and every week. Have a great day.